for everyone who is live right now. So people on Facebook and YouTube and our Facebook group, if you can see us, if you can hear the voice, then let us know below. Because right now we're streaming both on Instagram as well as on Facebook, multiple platforms, multiple streams. Um, but this is about our workshop that is happening this Sunday. And
Yes.
the good thing is that so many people have already signed up, but we
Yes.
wanted to give like a quick reminder for people who are still interested and want to jump on the early bird special. Now, before introducing my co-host for this live stream, this is not the workshop, but this is a live stream. But the name of the workshop is called Vedic Rituals for Improved Immunity and Self-Care. Um, and It's happening on March 14th, right?
Mhm.
At 4 p.m. Pacific and
Yep.
7 p.m. Eastern. So, hey, Salila, how's it going?
I'm doing great, and I want to welcome everybody who's already joined us. Influencer advocate Rena Deva, Tony Williams, Phoebe. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. So if we are looking here and there, just understand that we are on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Cool. So, are you excited about the workshop?
I am, and I love it that we have called it Vedic because we are going to do the yogic breathing, which you are the expert on. And I'm going to talk about Ayurveda rituals for increased immunity, for better lung health and strength, and for keeping us strong and stress free during this important time.
Awesome. So, to begin with, let's talk about why we are having this workshop in the first place. Maybe you can talk about your perspective, like why did you want to do something like that? And then I'll add my perspective as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We so many people are struggling right now just with the basic things of eating right, sleeping, managing stress. On top of that, we have our family and friends sometimes getting diagnosed with respiratory issues. I'm sorry that
I think there might be some transmission gap in on Facebook, but I'm able to hear you clearly on Instagram.
Okay.
What I can do is when you speak, I'll mute my mic. So I think that should work.
Okay. Thank you. So what I was saying is that when during this time when we have this pandemic and we have so many of us, our family members, our first degree connections are getting diagnosed, we need to have some rituals that we can fall back on and help them. And we need to be able to be empowered enough to do some things in our own home before we go to ICU or check in with a doctor. And these things are easily available in the kitchen. And I'm going to be demonstrating something today that everybody can learn. So back to you, AJ.
Awesome. You're able to hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I think that works. So when you speak, I can mute my mic. But from my perspective, I think the big why behind this workshop was that in my conversations with people, I also run a men's group. And so what I'm noticing is, as well as with my listeners from the emails that I get, is that burnout is a real issue right now. A lot of people are stressed out, and the isolation that people are experiencing sitting at home is really putting a lot of pressure on people, right? And so, from my standpoint, the workshop is an opportunity for us to provide a couple of things. One is food, and I think food is something that can really heal, especially if we're talking about Ayurvedic foods. And
Right.
we'll talk about what specifically you're going to learn how to make. But the food helps, but also community. When you come together in community, there's some research that suggests that even if you're meeting people online, just that sense of connection can be very calming, can be very healing. And so community is the second factor. The third factor is breathing. Breathing is the quickest way to relax your body, shift your body from an acidic state to a more alkaline state, and really reap the benefits of your parasympathetic nervous system, usually throughout the day, right? When we're stressed out, our body is in sympathetic, which is when the blood pressure is high,
Right.
heart rate is high.
Yeah.
But when we do the breathing, we're able to relax. And that's what you are going to experience during our workshop, which is on Sunday. And by the way, if people are watching right now, if you're in a hurry, then the link is my7chakras.com/Ayurveda workshop. My seven is a word, my7chakras.com/Ayurveda workshop. It's $44 usually, but because we're still in the early bird phase, it's $27 at the moment, a 3-hour workshop.
And I think it's a great deal. I think it's a great discount for a 3-hour hand workshop where you are going to be talking about yoga for about 60 minutes, and I am going to be doing a hands-on demonstration of 3 recipes: turmeric milk, khichdi, and a kadha to help with the immunity and for lung strength. And we are also going to learn about the ritual that I'm going to demonstrate today.
A lot of people are interested in Ayurveda and as well as breathwork. And sometimes, if you keep it simple, just the fact that we're doing it together allows somebody to learn how to make a new food item, but also have a lot of fun. So you said khichdi. We're going to do turmeric milk for better sleep, and the kada as well to boost immunity. So if somebody's watching this right now, if this sounds exciting to you, let us know in the comments below. You can say yes, or maybe if you've already booked your spot, you can say yes as well, because this gives us some kind of feedback, right, to understand how many people are actually interested in this workshop that's happening on Sunday. Cool. So that's what you're doing from your end. So we'll be starting with those things. So the workshop will be starting with the intro. Then we'll be doing, everything that Salila takes us through. Then we do a deep dive breathwork awakening journey. Okay. So how many of you have tried breathwork before? Let us know in the comments, especially on Instagram. I see a lot of people joining on Instagram, even on Facebook. But if you've ever experienced a breathwork session, let us know in the comments below, because we'll be mixing movement and music and meditation and breathing, so that we take you to a peak state of consciousness to clear off those negative energies and those stagnant energy that you might be holding in your body, and replace them with empowering beliefs, empowering ideas, empowering visions for your life for the rest of 2021. And so as a result, you will experience reduced stress, relaxation across the body, a reduced heart rate and lowered blood pressure, and also connection with your intuition and with your higher self. And I think that's the highlight, because a
Yeah.
lot of times we feel that we're living in an ordinary world, right, where everything is just as usual. There's nothing special about this world. But Einstein said that you can live your life in one of two ways: either as if everything is a miracle, or nothing is a miracle. And by just doing this breathwork session, there's a good chance that you will be connected with your higher self. You will be able to experience, the chakras from within, and also your aura, your aura energy around your body. So each person has a different experience, and I cannot tell what you will experience, but that's a gift. So
I
be
am
curious
excited
and
for
open.
your part. That sounds amazing. That sounds like the best thing ever.
For sure. And so at this point, did you want to, do your highlight,
Yes,
your
please.
demo?
Yes. So I want to talk about this ritual that I'm going to be sharing when we have when we have our live webinar on the 14th, 4 p.m. California time, 3 hours hands-on webinar where AJ is going to be talking about yogic breathing, and I'm going to be talking about Ayurvedic cooking, the essential cooking for pandemic protection, and I'm going to be sharing this ritual. Now, this ritual is called Nasim, and this is something that I do every day. And the way I do is I have this giant bottle of sesame oil. AJ, you probably remember this from your mom's kitchen. This is like the traditional Indian gingerly oil, sesame oil. And we take a little bit of that, and let's see if I can do this. And then we have these Q-tips. I like to use Q-tips for Nasim because if we are doing Nasim for the first time, or if we've never put anything up our nose. So yes, this is going up our nose. If you've never done this in our nose, it can be startling. It can be a little alarming. So the way we do it is we dip the Q-tip on both ends and then coat the insides of our nose with organic expeller pressed sesame oil. And what this does is this oil penetrates deep into all the capillaries in the head. There's this bone called ethmoid bone, which kind of stands between on the top of the palate. It kind of is that barrier between the brain and the skull. And it goes and clears out all the nerve endings, the passages, all the little grooves in there. And in Ayurveda, they say that this affects the Shringataka marma. So that marma is activated. So as the breathing will activate the chakras, we are going to activate the most important marma in our head. And this will help us not just sleep better, but we will feel more energized. We will we will face stress much better. We will our sound will get better. If we have any diseases from above the shoulder blade upwards, all those will start to get healed because the circulation in this region will start to get better. So that was just a snapshot. Of course, there are many do's and don'ts. There are body types and then different kinds of oils we can use. So I will go into all that during the session. But right now, this was just a quick snapshot. Back to you, AJ.
Okay, that is awesome. And I like when there are these things that you can do, right, which are fairly straightforward. And the good thing is that you can replicate them at your own convenience at home. Sometimes you go to a workshop and what you learn is so difficult to implement or replicate at home that you end up doing it just once. So this is something that you can do anytime at your home, right? You just need a certain type of oil, good quality oil. And if you know how to do it, then it's going to really reap, you're going to really reap multiple benefits. And I feel that, what is going to be shared by you is blends really well with what I'm going to share with the breath work, because with breath work, the more oiled you are, the less resistance there is, right? And the more connected you feel. And oil is like a universal lubricant. You put it in your car, you can put it in yourself also. And my dad always used to use the car analogy. If a car is well oiled, right, there's no issue. And if a human is well oiled, then there's no issue at all. And so it's fascinating that you spoke about the brain, because even in breathwork we talk about the brain. We talk about calming what is known as the default mode network, and that is a part of the brain which forms your sense of identity. It always is comparing yourself, especially when it's overactive, right? So in the height of the afternoon, when it's overactive, it's comparing yourself with the rest of the world, with your past self, with your future self. And if it goes unchecked, then it can be the cause for a lot of stress and anxiety, because you're always worried about, you're never like grounded and in the present moment. But through breath work, and also I'm sure through Ayurveda, these calming rituals, you're able to quieten the default mode network. And what ends up happening is you open up to synchronicity, you open up to the beauty around you, you realize the interconnectedness of all species, animals and things, and you feel this sense of joy and exhilaration. And in those moments, at least I found, those are the best times to receive ideas, nudges, synchronicities, right? And for all you visionaries out there who want to start a new business, get a new job, manifest something amazing into your life, right? It's going to really facilitate and speed up the process. So I'm really looking forward to this workshop. We've already got a lot of people signed up, but I'm really looking, because sometimes if it's too large of a group, you're not able to give individual attention to everybody. And the good thing is that we've got an intimate group. But if there are more people who want to join in, do you know when is the early bird till, Salila? When did we decide?
Let's keep the early bird on till for the next 48 hours. So we take it off from the 11th.
Okay.
And right now, the group is where we can accommodate maybe 3 or 4 people
Okay.
But
But
if we, yeah,
yeah,
so
so
yeah,
hurry up if you want to join us.
Okay, sounds good. So basically, it is $44 for a 3 hour workshop, and it's hands on because you're going to get your shopping list as well. And the earlier you book your spot, the faster you're able to go to the grocery store and get your stuff. But you get a, like a shopping list, and we do it together. So it's a 3 hour workshop. But the good part is that if you are one of the next people who, take up this spot, then you don't pay 44, but you pay $27 for a 3 hour workshop. And we'll also provide you the replay, so you can, if you miss it or for some reason you can't attend immediately, you can watch it the next day. And that makes it really convenient for all of you. So there's no words that I can say or Salila can say that can really paint a picture, an accurate picture of what you're going to experience, because the experience is so subjective. But you will, without a doubt, have a good time. When people do just the breathwork session, they really enjoy it. They through our integration session after the workshop, I get to hear stories. I get to notice how people's body language is before and after. But I know that once we mix what Salila is going to share with the Ayurvedic part, it is really going to, what's the phrase, like, take the roof off, hit the roof off. You
yeah.
get my point.
And I want to remind everybody about AJ's generous offering that if you buy one ticket, you can bring your family along. There's no problem if your family joins us.
Yeah, exactly. So we consider a family like a household. So if there are multiple people in your house, then you can all share either a small screen or a large screen, depending on what is convenient for you. But it's going to be fun. It's definitely a family initiative, right?
Yes.
Um, a lot of families don't know about this, and when you know about this, that's when it makes it so much more fun. These experiences are supposed to be shared experiences, because if you look at the word conspire, right? Conspiracy is a huge word these days, but conspiracy stems from conspire, and conspire, con in Latin means together, and spirar means breathe. So
Hmm,
basically, conspire, if you're conspiring, it means you're conspiring to breathe together, which is not such a bad thing.
I love it. Let's conspire together.
Uh, so does anyone have any question? I know a bunch of people are watching this live right now. And the last time people were watching live, we had a couple of questions about the event, what time it is, what is the investment, what are you going to cover? And we have a lot of people who are joining us live. And by the way, if you're live right now, make sure you share this. Make sure you share on Facebook or YouTube or even on Instagram, because we are really depending on more people getting to know about this workshop. So any questions, let us know. Add it in the comments below. You
I
can ask a funny question also.
Yeah, scanning the Instagram. No questions so far.
Mhm.
So maybe
Maybe
we
AJ,
can
we can
go
quickly
back
go back
over
over
recap
recap
our
Okay.
workshop,
workshop,
and then we
and
can
then
call
we
it a
can
day.
call it a day.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Thank
So let's do a recap of the workshop. Let's talk about the what. The workshop is called Vedic Rituals for Improved Immunity and Self-Care. And basically, it is a Ayurveda and breathwork workshop that is a 3 hour workshop. The price point for that is 44 US dollars. But if you decide right now, if you decide within the early bird, you get it for $27. When is it happening? March 14th, which is a Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So you can set aside 3 hours for that. Who's the ideal person for this kind of workshop? Well, it is anyone with a belly button.
you.
So if you have a belly button, and you can join us and you can partake in this experience. And in other words, it's for everyone, especially for families, because what we're sharing is going to be really, really, beneficial. What else? Although I do want to mention, so in terms of the breath work, we will be doing an advanced form of breath work. And what this means is there will be some kind of breath holding as well. And when it
Mm,
comes to breath holding, because we're creating a state in our body called brief intermittent hypoxia. Everyone is not recommended to hold their breath. So there are certain conditions or people, for example, if you're pregnant, if you have a pacemaker installed, if you've got epilepsy, if you've got migraines, if you've got a certain condition right now, if you have fever, then it's better not to hold your breath. But otherwise, everybody else can hold their breath, because the more you hold your breath, and you'll notice this the more you do breath work, but your capacity to hold your breath increases, your tolerance for carbon dioxide increases. And what this essentially means is you become more resilient, you become stronger, and you're able to face life's challenges in a much more streamlined manner. So everything that we are sharing is backed by a lot of science and research, but it's also spiritual as well. So that is the what. Um,
And the
and the early bird, yeah. Yeah, so the early bird, well, the regular price is $44. Early bird is 27, and the way that you get your spot is by going to My Seven Chakras. Seven is a word. My7chakras.com/Ayurveda workshop. My7chakras.com/Ayurveda workshop. And if you have any questions, if you're watching this as a replay, then make sure that you email me at aj@my7chakras.com if you've got a question, because I'll help you answer your question. And if I don't have the answer, I'll ask Salila, but we'll get you the answer, because we would love to meet you on Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific.
Thank you so much for that brilliant. Take good care, everybody.